I just rather have it on the computer.
Mhm. I didn't bring my bag.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon.
Everybody this evening, this is the May 6th meeting for the Board of Education. Board has been in a closed session, back in open session for this portion. Our first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. If you will, please stand. Thanks. Hold on until I can toss them up here.
Closed session back in open session for this portion.
Let's go. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next, we've got on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. We do have one item to add under discussion, and that is an update on the current middle school roof. Any other additions to the agenda? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the amended agenda.
Chairman, I make a motion, we approve the amended agenda.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. So we'll keep on going with the agenda. We've got comments from Dr. Cox, Superintendent.
I get to say lots of great things about students and staff that are going on in our schools and within the district, and bring your attention to quite a few upcoming events. I've just got an invitation to an awards program at Ashe County Early College High School. I was at the senior awards last week. Was it last week? Recently at the high school. Lots of opportunities to celebrate students and teachers and the good things that they're doing. One of those upcoming opportunities, Miss Eldred helps to do project graduation and puts on a phenomenal event. And if you've never been to project graduation, it is worth seeing. Until I came to Ashe County, I've never seen anything like it. But it's really a celebration of our seniors and their guests, and to make sure that they have a safe evening after graduation. So is there a volunteer opportunity coming up or a donation opportunity?
There are both of those. If you've not donated yet, now's your chance. We still have a few days. I'm spending money and buying all sorts of great prizes and making sure we have great events and decorations and all kinds of things going on. We really need more volunteers for that night. It's a chance for junior parents to come help out while the senior parents are doing some other things, especially on the food committee. Marty McKenzie at the high school is our volunteer coordinator. So if you want to get in touch with Miss Marty, I believe she has a link on the high school webpage, maybe. I'm not sure, but I think there is one. But get in touch with Miss McKenzie and she'll sign you up. We really need people from 3 to 5. That seems to be a low time there that we don't have a lot of volunteers there. We do have
AM. She's talking about AM. I think PM, she's thinking AM.
No, AM, that's the last leg of it, and that's when we have the least amount of volunteers. And there's several in this room that help us. Amy helps us. She's a chairperson for the wheel room. That's where a lot of the fun's happening there. We've got just about everything you can imagine to eat. We've got just everything. So you need to come by. If you've never been, come by and check us out and spend a few minutes and eat a bite with us. And then you'll probably want to come back next year because it's so much fun. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Eldred, for that update. And again, it is definitely something to see. So anybody who would like to volunteer, I turn into a pumpkin during the 3 to 5 a.m. hours. However, I'm sure that there are people who might be able to sleep before then and then come out and see. Our sheriff is there auctioning stuff off, and we have all kinds of fun things going on. So definitely a great time to be had by all Ashe County High School seniors and early college seniors on graduation night. Heart of the Husky. Heart of the Husky is, we mentioned Amy a second ago, Heart of the Husky is near and dear to her heart, but certainly something that we have all come to love. And this is a wonderful opportunity for children in Ashe County schools to get a free physical needed to participate in sports. So that is required of all middle and high school students, but something special that we do. First of all, we have lots of volunteers from our community, local doctors who come in and perform these physicals. But we also have an opportunity for students to get a healthy heart component, better known as the EKG. It's read by a pediatric cardiologist right away. So if your child does have an issue that shows up on the EKG, you will know right away, and hopefully we can prevent students from having an episode that might cause them future harm. So Heart of the Husky registration, it is online again this year, is that correct? Yes, it's online. Is it not online yet?
You go online to get the paperwork.
Okay, you go online to get the paperwork. So on the Ashe County High School and Ashe County athletics website, you can access the paperwork to fill out. It has to be signed by a parent, but it is Friday, May 17th. So sign your child up for a time if you're a middle or high school student and you have any inclination that your child might want to play any sport during the school year. The physicals are required, and take it from this mom who sometimes you're rushing around at the beginning of the school year trying to get it done. This is a nice opportunity for all parents and children of middle and high school students. So the physicals for high school students will be held from 2 to 4:30 on that Friday. And physicals for middle school and elementary students will begin at 4:30 and run to approximately 7. Parents aren't allowed back with your child during the physical, but they're welcome to wait and talk with the rest of us who are there that evening. So this is what, 8 years running, Amy, 10 years running? Maybe longer than that?
It's the eighth or ninth.
8th or 9th? Okay. So anyway, wonderful program, and I just want to thank all of our community members who pull together at Memorial Hospital. I can't name everybody right now, but we have a lot of people in our community that pull together to make this happen. So to say some great things about students, I'm not going to read all of this. There is a quick summary, which is not really a summary. It is a summary, but there are a lot of different items in here, and probably because it's that time of year when we will get to honor a lot of different people. So from our Teachers of the Year, which we will have at a later time come to a school board meeting. We'll also on next week, we're doing interviews for our District of the Year winners to select for those. So we don't have quite those yet. But we have a lot of awards that are coming up. One of those special awards that we were able to present, and we will learn later on whether Courtney Eller, who is our STEM innovator for elementary schools, she was selected as one of the North Carolina state level finalists for the 2024 Presidential Awards for Excellence in Mathematics and Science Teaching. She's one of 3 teachers in the entire state of North Carolina selected as a finalist. So we will have Courtney come after we know the final results of that, but congratulations to Courtney. We've also had lots of other teachers receiving awards. We had our career development coordinator, Diane Sprague, who was a presenter at a state level conference. And it was specifically on, on district and educational leaders throughout the state who attended this particular conference on career development plans. And I think, as you guys know, in our strategic plan, we want all students to have a plan for what's next and really try to figure out what they want to do later. Even if they change their mind, we want them to be prepared. And so this is, she got to present on that, which was wonderful. We had our annual EOP breakfast, and actually our secretaries and administrative assistants are the ones who put that breakfast on, and we're very thankful for them. And Principal Scott Grubb was recognized as the Administrator of the Year for that group. And Scott has done a great job in leading during this school year, as he has in other school years as well. And our accounting specialist here at the schools, Tanya Greer, was named the EOP of the year. And of course, that was by her peers. We had a student, Lana Kitson, was the recipient of the yearly EOP scholarship for graduating seniors. And it was really special because her mom actually got to present her with that scholarship this year, which we loved. Special Olympics was held a couple of Fridays ago, and we were able to enjoy our students, see their successes. We got rained out a little bit, so we ended up in the gym, but the kids had fun nonetheless. They played, they ran, they cheered for each other, and we just had a fantastic day. And I told somebody that's one of my favorite days of the year. I don't know how you can't be happy participating in or even just seeing the joy of Special Olympics. So congratulations to all of the students who participated, but a special thank you to all of our teachers and staff members. Terry and Jody and the EC staff did a wonderful job in leading that. And then quite a few parents and community members who helped out along the way. So that was wonderful. Kindergarten screening, and if you have a kindergartner out there and you want to come to Ashe County Schools, which we hope everybody does, you're welcome to still come in and register. But we've had kindergarten screening, and we've helped it's completed at all 3 elementary schools, but again, it's always ongoing. We had an art night at Mountain View Elementary School, which was really, really fun. In fact, I ran into students who just wanted to show off their artwork and the donuts. So the donuts that were on display, I thought they were real. And so I kept eyeing the donuts and said, when are you guys going to eat the donuts over there? And I was really serious, but they were actual artwork, paper mache donuts. I was very disappointed to hear that those weren't real and they wouldn't be auctioning those off. They were like jumbo and really colorful, and they looked ooey gooey. Making myself hungry, but that was fun. The middle school and the high school have lots of events coming up that parents might want to participate in. But I want to celebrate a couple of students. First of all, we had a Ashe County Early College High School student who won the Northwest Conference 3A Tennis Singles Championship. So congratulations to Andrew for winning the singles championship. We had 2 students at Ashe County High School who placed in the state FFA awards competition, and our advisor Daniel Calhoun accompanied them. But we had another Andrew placed in the top 3 in the state of North Carolina. His project submission involved his work with his sawmill business. So we have business owners as students in our schools, and he was a top 3 finalist. His placement will be announced at the state FFA convention in June. So we know he's in the top 3. We don't know where he's finished in that, but that will be announced in June. And if he's the state winner, he will advance to the national awards for judging. And we also had junior student Paige Roten, who was 4th place in the state, and her project involved it was a project with her family's beef cattle farm operation and the Christmas tree farm operation. So Paige will be joining us at another board meeting. She is also a student representative on the State Superintendent Student Council. So we'll be hearing from her again. Ashe Early College, along with Wilkes Community College, highlighted the achievements of graduating senior Shu Cato. And so Shu has set the sights on UNC Chapel Hill, where he will pursue studies in biology and wants to become a biologist and pathologist. And will, like many of our early college students, be earning his associate degree in science this May. So we are very excited here in the next coming weeks for that. We also had a sophomore student, Addison Dollar, who was awarded the Youth Involvement Award of the Year. And she's volunteered nearly 500 hours since her freshman year of high school. That's phenomenal that we have kids who truly believe in serving our community. I just love it. But last but certainly not least, we have a student with us today. So I'm going to ask Caleb to come up here, and I get to say lots of great things about Caleb. So you can just stand right here as we say great things about you. How about that? All right, Caleb Shepley is a student at Ashe County Middle School, and he's been awarded one of the most prestigious spots at the Appalachian Regional Commission Oak Ridge STEM Academy Bridge Program. That was a mouthful, but absolutely we are proud of him. So Caleb is representing not only our county, but also the state of North Carolina. There are only 2 students selected per state, and Caleb is one of them. So because of his previous participation in the Oak Ridge Middle School STEM Academy last summer, he has been placed in this bridge program, and he's among the few chosen from 13 states in the Appalachian Regional Commission. So again, he's one of 2 students in North Carolina, which is absolutely phenomenal. And about this program, Oak Ridge STEM Academy Bridge Program is a 2-week, fully funded, immersive experience where he will work with a master teacher, assistant teacher, and other experts to conduct guided group science, math, and computer science technology research projects this summer. This program culminates in a final group presentation in which participants will showcase their work. His selection is a testament to Caleb's commitment to academic excellence and hands-on learning, and we commend Caleb for his exceptional dedication and wish him continued success in his academic pursuits. Caleb, we are so very proud of you, and thank you for representing Ashe County. And when he completes this program, we'll have a certificate for him after he completes it. But we wanted, before he was out of school, for him to be recognized, not only for his stellar performance, but his commitment to keep on learning. And so we hope that you'll come back and share everything that you learned. Do you have any idea what kind of a research project you'll be doing?
No, I do not.
No, you do not. Very good. Well, we are excited to hear about it when you come back. He started in pre-K. Yeah, he started in pre-K. And we had a fantastic pre-K program. So Caleb, can you stand up and say, we'll say congratulations to Caleb one more time. Eighth grade and soon to be a high school student. Fantastic. That was a lot, so I'm done. I could have gone more, but we're good.
It's made so busy.
It's a busy one.
But that's great. That's great. Next, we've got public comments. I do not have anybody down for public comment at this time, so we'll continue further with the agenda. Next, I've got Miss Allison Kemp Sullivan with them new middle school update.
I can see you here.
Oh, I came for Caleb. He'll be by himself up here.
And Luke Eggers is his wonderful teacher at Ashe County Middle School. Thank you, Mr. Eggers, for being here. I did not see you in the back.
That's really for the final.
I know you got big shoes.
I know. I want to hire you. Okay, so the geotech moorings that were approved at the last meeting, they were supposed to start about a week ago, and they did not get started, but they were supposed to start either tomorrow, Wednesday. So I'm looking forward to getting that going. This month, we've had some productive meetings. We circled back with the EC team, Terry and Jody, and also Dr. Moken to go back over some things with PCS classroom in more detail. In that meeting, also Clark Nixon also brought in their landscape architect, and since some of the EC spaces and CTE spaces also have outdoor doorways that integrate with outdoor spaces, and we want to make sure that that's a seamless connection, because we've talked about maybe having some outdoor classroom spaces. And we'll be hearing more from the landscape architect about the rest of the site. And also facility dynamics, our commissioning agent, we've got some information from him to integrate into the construction documents for commissioning. So that's kind of the highlights right now. Anybody have any questions?
Any questions?
The testing protocols, they will all be completed for these items are actually installed into the building, correct?
It's a process. So during the installation of plumbing, mechanical, electrical systems and building controls, it'll be through the construction installation of all of those systems. So, and for example, when the ductwork goes in, for example, there'll be duct testing. That's just one thing, pressure testing. That's just one example. And that's part of these specs. That's why they go in now, so that when Benoit Construction, it puts this information out there, whoever's bidding on the work, they're aware the commission is going on, because that's just something they need to be aware of. That's why we get that information out there now. It's real important to do the commissioning, so.
We want to make sure things work.
Yeah, and part of the commissioning process, it's they put the building and all the systems through their paces and making sure it works in all the different scenarios, so. Testing, it's like the maintain man, you want to put the washing machine through every different cycle.
Exactly. So Anthony will be,
Anthony will be happy. I hope his guys will be happy. So, yeah.
all right, thank you.
Anybody else have any other questions?
Thank you so much.
Mr. Roden, can I say something else that I absolutely forgot, but I did not forget? This is Teacher Appreciation Week, so I forgot the most important thing, I think, other than honoring Caleb sitting right in front of us. But this is Teacher Appreciation Week, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you to our teachers and staff. I think a lot of teachers at heart, even if we're not directly in the classroom, but thank you for doing what you do every single day for children.
It's a very nice letter you sent.
So,
Like that. It's very nice.
All right, next are some action items that we have. The first item under action is
One for Anthony's report.
under discussion. We're down to the bottom. Yep. We've got personnel, first on there. Mr. Putman, anything to add to?
I just have the personnel agenda, and I sent you all an addendum this afternoon. I hope you all got that. I hate to do addendums, but this time of year, we want to acquire our staff for next year quickly. So,
That is May.
yeah, it is May.
Do I have a motion to approve the personnel agenda and the addendum?
Make a approve. Go ahead, Janet.
You want a second?
I'll second.
There we go. So I've got a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion approved. Anything you need on that, Dr. Combs? Personnel, okay.
Yes and no. So she's not here because she's at a professional development, but I want to congratulate Dr. Susan Mogan. She has been hired as or formally approved now as the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources for Ashe County Schools. So I'm very excited to be able to announce her. And she is in Raleigh right now. She's been participating this year in a program I nominated her for, which is the Distinguished Leaders in Practice. And so she's been there, and tomorrow we have her graduation ceremony for that state cohort. So we're really proud of her. And so that means that we will be going through another process for administrator of the middle school. But the great thing is we have wonderful people here in Ashe County. We've been really working on succession plans and what that could look like in growing our own. And we have quite a few people that are on the path for different levels of leadership. So we're excited about that process too. But thank you.
Okay. Next, we've got on the agenda is the employee contract list for the 24-25 school year. With that, I'll ask that we have motions made. We're going to make the motion to approve those as the amended contract list. So do I have a motion to approve the amended contract list?
I'll make a motion that we
Okay.
approve the amended contract list.
All right, your turn.
Second.
All right. All right, any other questions or comments? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Ms. Jones. Yeah. Next, we've got under the consent agenda, several items. These are items that the board have heard in the past, kind of reoccurring items, as well as minutes from the last meetings, closed and open session. Also have the NC driving school contract, speech and language contract. I need one of those. The nursing care contract, itinerary agreement, MOU with Brockhead Start, Appalachian Speech Pathology and Occupational Therapy. I need that too. Two of those, permission to apply for the US DOE Mental Health Professionals Demonstration Grant, and a permission to apply for 21st Century Community Learning Centers Grant for 17. Permission for overnight CTE competition. The last item under consent agenda is policy 9300 there. So with those, we'll approve all those at one time. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
We approve the consent agenda.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the consent agenda, raise your hand. Motion carries. Next, we've got the gear up request for out of county overnight trips.
Good evening, I'm Carrie Mackey with Gear Up and just wanted to seek approval to pursue some experiences that could be overnight for students this summer. They're both at ASU. One in June is the NASCAR camp. That would be studying coding and computer science. It would be hosted by Gear Up, ASU Gear Up. And then the other opportunity is the design camp that is hosted by the design department at ASU. So we're still in the process of promoting that and working out logistics, but there's a day camp option since we obviously live next door, or overnight. So just want permission to have the option to do the overnight if that's how it works out. It would be great experiences for our students, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. They would be supervised either by myself, ASU Gear Up staff, or I could hire a teacher or counselor to go along with them.
How many students do we have space for?
Well, it's kind of first come, first serve enrollment, so the camps do fill up, but we have a couple registered for both right now.
Are a lot of these students already in Gear Up?
Well, all of our students are considered Gear Up students if they're within the cohort. So right now, the current 7th through 10th graders, right? I probably don't have that right. Yeah, 7th through 10th, sorry. So all students are in those grades are considered Gear Up students. So any of them could participate, and we do advertise and promote to everybody in a lot of different ways.
Camps that our students have participated in previously have been really excellent opportunities for our kids.
We've had a lot of great experiences. Yes.
Camp NASCAR sounds interesting too. I'll make a motion that we approve.
Okay. Do I have a second to the motion?
Second.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries.
Thank
You're ready to
you.
go. Next, we've got something I think a lot of work has went into, the recommendation for the ELA textbook adoption.
No, I feel like I told Julie, I feel like this is like a wedding day. I've prepared so much for this. Good evening. We are here to recommend the approval for a K-8 ELA textbook adoption. for Great Minds with Wisdom, which was the preferred selection by our teachers in kindergarten through 8th grade, but for the approval and purchase of that.
Can you just briefly explain to them what all went into it? I know we've sent emails and stuff.
No, kill me.
Breathe.
Well, we put in a document, into your agenda tonight that had several questions and kind of a summary, I guess, in a sense of this entire process, which really started about 3 years ago, with, Senate Bill 387 that came through, for all counties in North Carolina. And we really took that to heart and tried to work really hard to make good decisions and make this process the best that we've ever done. And so we're hoping that we will continue and stay the course and make this the best implementation we've ever done. So, that's kind of the background, but if you flip through that FAQ document, you'll see that we have aligned this with the Senate Bill 387, with the guidelines that are coming from North Carolina, with, we've also aligned it to the strategic plan to portrait a graduate. It meets all the expectations for our state department, but also the expectations and the need for our Ashe County students, kindergarten through 8th grade.
I'm so old. I've been through several textbook adoptions, but I think you girls have done more to involve the community and the parents and everyone. And I really appreciate all the effort. I did come by and go through all of the stuff. I didn't get to go participate in the meeting last week, but it's really in depth, and a lot of work has gone into this. And of course, the question I have is how long, the last textbook adoption that I can remember in English language arts, it lasted like 20-some years probably before we got a new book.
Yes, I taught out of those books for a long time.
Mhm.
I would say that was due to the Common Core, and then they went away from, they almost demonized textbooks in a sense. But we all know we need a balance of every style of teaching, textbooks, lecture, small group. We could go on with that, but I guess that will depend on funding, but we do know that this is a 5-year adoption. So we know that it takes 5 to 7 years for anything to show that it's working or not. And so we really have invested this time and want to continue. We're very excited that this portion is over and now we're ready for the real work to begin, which is supporting the teachers. Because it would be really easy if this is challenging to put it on a shelf. It's going to be a little challenging, as all the districts have told us it's a productive struggle. Just because if you taught a certain way for 20 years, you can't change overnight. Even if you can reflect as a teacher and think, well, maybe I've developed some bad habits, or maybe I'm over focusing on one thing and not focusing. We all know writing. We all talk about this in the district. All teachers talk about it. And we love how this seamlessly brings it in every single day with rich content that will help Mr. Farmer and Miss Williams when those kids get to social studies and science, and they'll have that content knowledge and be able to write about it because they've had those introduction pieces. I just really think it's like, I'm older. You were older too. And I think it's actually going back to how we are taught, to be honest. People want to call it new. I really don't think it's new at all.
I thank you for the extensive explanation and answering questions. It was a lot of work, I know, but it's thorough and very helpful.
We want this to be the best, so we were trying our hardest to make sure that all the T's were crossed and the I's were dotted. If you have any other questions, we're excited about the next part.
I just want to say thank you also to a lot of the teachers that, on the Zoom that I was on, they were asking great questions. They were giving good feedback. They had been talking to each other and getting feedback from their colleagues. We had quite a few parents who came in to take a look at the books and the resources that we were selecting between. And of course, thank you to Casey and Julie especially, and our literacy specialists at our schools who
and a lot of our teachers at schools who truly vetted the resources even before we put them before our teachers to make sure that they are standards aligned, to make sure that they had content appropriate for our students, and to make sure that they were going to help extend kids the way that we need to extend them for years to come. So thank you.
With that being said, I'll entertain a motion to approve the textbook adoption.
I'll make a motion, we approve the textbook adoption. I think it's the best choice.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other questions or comments? All right, all those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you all. Next, under updates and discussion items we have on there, the first one is discussion of health protocol for communicable diseases. See Ms. Little coming up.
Good evening. We have, as I think most everyone is aware, we've had a couple of communicable disease cases that have kind of been an outbreak, and we're kind of in that mode again where we are contact tracing and doing those things that we can do to keep our kids and our staff safe. And so as a request, we wanted to bring with you just our two policy. Well, I brought you our policy and then just the list of the diseases that are considered communicable diseases that we have to follow the directive of the health department on how that runs. And then I've also printed off the guidelines for how the health department is to make sure that those laws are being met, how we are to interact with them. And so I'm not sure exactly what all you need, but on the one page that talks about the guidelines, this is from the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. Underneath the rationale, there's a law that states that the second bullet that the state health director has and local health director has the quarantine authority and isolation authority, very similar to when we were going through COVID. That third bullet talks about our role. The schools have the critical information and records sometimes necessary to identify not only cases but close contacts, and then put into measure any control measures that we can to keep students and staff safe. So the fourth bullet there talks about how we manage that, work with them to identify those contacts and how they are to contact those folks for us, but we kind of work in tandem. So just about our working relationship there, as we tested it very thoroughly during COVID, and it all came rushing back very quickly. So
We may want to clarify, it's not COVID.
it is
We're-
not COVID. No, it's not COVID. So do you have any other questions that I can clarify? This is the current guidance under which we are operating at this time.
Jamie, if you don't mind, let's review for the parents and friends who might be watching, and for us as well. What would happen, say my kid, there's been a child who's been identified. What happens if my child is in a classroom with that identified student?
Sure. So we're notified, the health department is notified by the provider or whoever tests that child and comes back with a positive. They have to directly report to the health department because they report that to the state and national level. Then they notify us. And what we do at that point is we try to identify where the student would have been. Now, in this case, it was whooping cough, pertussis. And quarantine or the exposure time is very different. You know, we got very used to COVID, but it was you had to be within 3 feet for up to an hour to be considered a close contact. And so our high school, for example, has 90-minute classes. So what we've done with those students is we sent out a letter that's in conjunction that Dr. Cox and Jen Green had crafted together to be specific to this case and looking for symptoms. So if they were exposed in a classroom, period, we know they were in a class, we would send out that letter of notification. In that letter, it says, if your child is deemed a close contact, the health department will be reaching out to you for, to interview you, make sure you're aware. And so they follow up after that. And we've identified who would be considered a close contact based on attendance records, seating charts, that kind of investigation. And consequently, if we have a close contact that becomes positive, then it kind of continues to go. But we provide, the health department provides us with the information of who's positive. We work in tandem with them to provide information of close contacts, and we just sent out a generalized to any student in that class. We did end up having a couple in one day, so we did just do a call in general because we don't know, of course, they could have had exposures outside of school or at lunch or some other times Husky Hall, if their Husky Hall happened to be the same time prom was during that time of potential
Spring
exposure.
break.
Yes. So we did want all parents to be watching their children for potential symptoms. And to try to keep we also let the providers know. So if you've got students that we know are at this school or that school when they're coming in, this might be something to look for. So we did generalized, just overarching communication, and then it would get more specific if they were really deemed to be close contact.
Yeah, there are quite a few of them, and I hope they do not manifest itself in any way in any of our schools.
So you said the distance wise is same?
This one was 3 feet for 60 minutes of exposure would be considered a close contact.
But none of that is exact.
No.
I mean,
So my understanding is it can be up to 3 weeks.
21 days of incubation period for pertussis. And you typically are contagious 8 days before symptoms show.
Any other questions?
Well, my understanding too is that the students were immunized that contacted the whooping cough, and that maybe our, it's wearing off as we go through that. I know that when Henry was born, I had to go get a new Tdap because I wasn't going to be allowed to hold a grandson until I had a Tdap, a booster. And of course, I'd had all my immunizations, but we had a new Tdap. But when Bodie came along, we were covered because we had had that within a couple of years. So
about 6 years ago, the state changed it so that students prior to their senior year have to have a booster update, and this is one of the diseases for which that booster is for. And so I think what we're seeing is potentially that those vaccines are wearing off quicker or whatever. But the state does require that booster before their senior year.
might it be a good idea to get a booster a little earlier since this is going on?
I don't know the answer to that
I
because
do
I'm
know
not a
that
doctor.
discussion was most of our students were within an age range.
So he's making me nervous talking back there. Right on cue.
Any other questions for Ms. Little? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think I see Mr. Leak in the corner back there. We've got an update on the new middle school roof, or the current middle school roof. It's not old yet, but it's still operating. Current middle school roof.
Yes, the current middle school roof is waiting. Talked to Mr. Lawson today with DPI again. And really I hate the same word, it would just be soon. I'll be up there soon. And I did say that we had a board meeting and I said, I'd really like to get this going and give some good information. And he said, well, all I can tell you is I won't know if I get up there, and I'll be up there soon. And I also said, well, is there any chance we're gonna build this roof this summer? Because we really need it. And he said, I won't know that till I get up there. And it's very disappointing to hear those words when you need so badly to get on with it. You know, and we have some funding already at hand. We're ready. But we have to have them to design it and tell us how we're gonna build it and who's gonna build it. They'll put out the bids and everything, so. I wish I had a better answer for this.
What can we do
That's
to
my
expedite this? Have we tried to do something, other than contact Mr. Lawson?
That's it. I've been in contact with him several times about this thing, and I don't know what the answer is. I've obviously had limited dealings with DPI with projects. And I have found them to be very helpful when I needed information every time. Especially Mr. Lawson, he's very knowledgeable about roofs. That's kind of his background in engineering, so I just wish he was here, or he would tell me when he was coming, but he just could not be pinned down. And I tried pretty hard, so.
Is there something we can do as a board to write a letter, to call, to express to him the need to get on up here?
I think he really knows the need and is very much willing to help. But there's one of him in the state, unfortunately, I think he will be up here as soon as he can get, he actually likes us here.
I really think
I really think he will.
he said that they've been slashed a lot and that they don't have assistants anymore. He said that him and the other engineers did all their own paperwork and things like that now because the state has done away with their assistants that help them do the work. And he said, it's just hard. He said, you're one of so many. And he said, you weren't first when you called me. And he said, but you're getting up there. He said, will we really soon? And it's so hard to not say, come on, man, how about, give me a day.
When mine were last.
We'll get him some cheese.
I'm sorry.
Cheese plant cheese. We get him
Yeah,
some cheese.
yeah.
And some other stuff if they want.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think of you. I'm sorry. We got an N. Cheese can get you anything. Any other questions for Mr. Leake?
Just wish you had an answer, sorry.
If you do, let us know as soon as you know.
Dr. Cox will know immediately if that guy calls me, I promise you that. So, all right, I've been more helpful.
That's all right. Thank you so much.
Thank
As long as we're on the list, he doesn't switch our name out of place, that's about all you can do.
And that's not gonna happen, so,
No, I mean, you just have to take your turn
yeah,
when you call.
yeah, that's how it is.
Well, as soon as we have the plan, then we'll be able to communicate what is next. Obviously, the old middle school needs a new roof. I mean, it needs a new roof, and so as soon as we know what that's gonna look like and the timeline, then we will execute it as quickly as we can. And hopefully we don't have to have a plan B or C during that time, but we'll see.
One question for you all to think about, is there any possibility that part of that roof could be done while school is in? Let's say it goes into fall and he says, we can do this.
And that's gonna depend on what the design of the roof is, and you certainly we wouldn't put students or staff in jeopardy.
Yeah.
Heavy equipment falling through on them or anything like that.
Just something to think about. Don't know that could happen.
Well, I've been asking some of those questions of some people that I know that build and that are in construction. And I understand that noise might be the biggest barrier that we might have
It could be.
for that. So I think like we ask our kids to sometimes, we might need to think out of the box, creativity ways to approach this, where maybe we can do one section of the building and then another section of the building, what we could do for those
Absolutely.
kinds of things. So
Until it gets here.
Right.
We won't know.
we want
There
to
is
know,
a
we need to be
worse
thinking about that.
section. Worse than all the others, so definitely could start there.
Mhm.
We just get it started.
Anthony, what part is that's the worst?
Is the, I call it the center of the building, over the office area.
Okay.
And that's where all most of the protrusions are, like for vents and air conditioning and things like that caused trouble for years and years. A lot of the other roofs have an occasional leak here and there, but that one section has been pretty bad.
Some of that, do you think too, when they put central air in there for that middle part, or no?
Not really. Part of it's just original ventilation, fans, skylights. Things like that.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Maybe he'll show up tomorrow.
You never
Fingers
know.
crossed. Let me know, I'll get him some cheese.
Take him out to dinner.
Yeah, yeah, let's send it to them in advance.
Right. Well, thank
A
you so much.
teaser.
Thank you.
Yeah. One thing I saw on your report that I forgot, and I've kind of got somebody included in that group, but you had other things other than Teacher Appreciation Week. You had administrative professionals and school professionals, and then May was principals. I saw them on Facebook, teachers and school nurses. But I've kind of got one section in there that there's somebody I know pretty well that works in there, and that's our lunchroom heroes. And my mother is at the middle school who works out there, and all those folks in the cafeteria did a good job, but I'll have to give a special shout out to Mom. On there.
Your mom is a doll.
They've all been on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we honor our teachers, we're really honoring everybody that's on our staffs. I know that our Teacher Appreciation Week, we have teachers, and it doesn't matter whether you are a certified teacher or if you're working in the building, you partake in all those different activities, lunches and breakfasts and biscuits and just the love that people are sharing. So thank you to school employees and staff for everything that you do. None of us could do this without you, and our children are thankful every day.
Does anybody have anything else before we adjourn? Now I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second and a third on that one. All those in favor, raise your hand. Thank you so much.